Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now, today's first story comes from Jew Affection, who says, am I the arsehole here for making my wife confess to all of her friends and family that she cheated on me if she did not want a divorce? I, 34 male, have been married to my wife, 32 female, for 5 years, and we have 3 children. A few months ago, I found out from my wife's text that she had been cheating on me, and I confronted her about it. She confessed to it and gave me an entire breakdown of her affair, which had lasted for a month. I was devastated and asked her why. She gave no excuses for it and said she had caught feelings for her affair partner which were wrong and she acted on them. He was a co-worker. I asked her if I lacked in anything and she said no, and she was in tears. I needed a few days to process this. My wife gave me space, but she asked me many times to reconsider divorce because it would uproot the lives of our children. She said she would do anything I wanted for the rest of my life. After a week, I decided that I needed only one thing from my wife to completely forgive her, and that was to call each and every one of her friends and family and confess to her affair. I told her that was my only condition. She was really hesitant and asked me if I could reconsider the condition because this would ruin a lot of her friendships and family relationships. But I told her that this was what I needed as part of my forgiveness process, and that if she didn't do this, I was going to start looking for a divorce lawyer. Over the next week, my wife made a phone call to all of her friends, parents, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, pretty much anyone she knew, and confessed to her affair. It was hurtful, and there was a lot of crying. My wife was hurled with a lot of shouting. By the week's end, my wife had called everyone I wanted her to call. It has been a few months, and my wife and I actually have a really strong relationship now. However, my wife has pretty much become isolated from her friends and a lot of her family. This has hurt her a lot, and she spends a lot of nights crying, but she says it was worth it for our relationship and for our children. Am I the arsehole here? This just feels to me, it's like this relationship is never going to last. I mean, Opie says things are good right now, but and look, I'm not condoning cheating or anything like that, but it just feels so messy. Getting her to call up every family member and friend and admit to this? Just trying to picture myself sat there one day and someone phones me and confesses to their infidelity. I'd be like, the fuck, I don't want to hear this. But Altruistic says, I just feel like that's embarrassing for you too. You stayed with a cheating spouse, like your wife shit the bed, then had to tell her whole family and friends she shit the bed, while you were in the bed sitting in the shit. What an analogy. Mrs. McNugget says, I understand the need to get your wife to confess to someone other than yourself, but from the number of persons you describe her calling, it seems to be more of airing the dirty laundry. Aside from parents and siblings, what was the point of letting other relatives and friends know? Obligation Weekly says, everyone sucks here. I hate cheaters, but I don't understand what you're trying to do here. I guarantee you, your relationship is not stronger than ever. The public humiliation you put her through will stay with her until she explodes. It'll be an okay thing if she told a bunch of lies about you and it needs to be corrected. I just don't know what you are trying to do here. Soph Lurk says everyone sucks here. You wanted to humiliate your wife for cheating by sucking people into your relationship drama. I don't want my acquaintance or a random cousin calling me to confess an affair. What am I supposed to do with that information? Either divorce your wife or don't. But don't drag your family into it. It's gross and it doesn't make you look as good as you think it does. And one more comment from Jumping Jam, who says, in all honesty, I don't understand how this helped you forgive her. Did you want to see her suffer or no? Ultimately, there are actions to her consequences. You've literally ruined her relationship with friends and family when in reality, I doubt it helped you forgive. She's now effectively on her own. She didn't cheat on those individuals, she cheated on you. You've invited others into your relationship with this condition, and as a result, you both look incredibly foolish. Everyone's shitty here. So 1.5 months later, Opie says, I feel really guilty even typing this out, but I am now considering a divorce. While I still love my wife, her personality has completely shifted over the past few months, and she no longer has the joyous and energetic person I fell in love with. Instead, she's always sad, gloomy, cries often, and very, very clingy to me. I admit that I made a mistake asking her to confess her affair to everyone, because it has just changed her personality completely. I wish she could go back to her joyous nature, but I don't know if it's possible anymore. I'm not sure how to tell my wife I'm considering divorce because it would just break her heart. Commenter says, bruh, she needs therapy. And the Mad Doctor in replies to that saying, so does OP, to be honest. He thought they had a strong relationship when she was crying herself to sleep most nights after making her confess her affair to everyone he wanted, effectively isolating her from everyone, and now he minds that she is clingy. I've been cheated on, so I know it hurts, but that's about as graceless as a way to handle it as I've seen. And Ash Attack says, what she did was terrible, but you should have just divorced from the beginning instead of essentially dragging other people into your drama by asking her to confess to everyone and then being shocked that after she quit her job and had no support is no longer happy. And everyone was just pretty much going down the same path on this. Basically, what did you expect to happen? Public humiliation, while might feel good in a particular moment, isn't going to help fix a marriage at all. And I can't see it have ended in any other way, to be quite honest. But what do you guys make of this situation? Maybe you have a different opinion on the matter. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. So our next story is from Putty Slutty. What a name. Says, my boyfriend, 22 male, gave a handmade Christmas present to his mother, 40 female, that I, 22 female, made. I make really cool vases as a hobby. These can take weeks to complete, and are always made with a giftee in mind. My mum, 50 female, and have always been into nature together. We hike, we own animals, we eat outside if we can. I guess being into nature sounds weird. We just like being outside. So I made my mum a Siamese cat urn. It looks like a vase, but the top is the cat's ears. It's super cute and I love the way it turned out. No one died or anything, it was just the style of the piece. I'd finished it and taken it to my apartment, wrapped it up and been so excited about it. Well, my boyfriend's mother came over and he didn't get her a Christmas/birthday present. She loves cats, so he just gave her the piece I made, which she loved. My boyfriend does not live with me. He has his own apartment near his school. His mother came over before we went over for dinner to see my new kitten. She was in tears over how nice the present was, and I ruined it. I told her that the presents must have gotten mixed up. That was made for my mother. She got a bit upset, gave it back, then my boyfriend went out to dinner with her. He said it would be best if I didn't come. I guess she cried the whole way, and he didn't have a present for her, so he looked like a bad son. I have trouble seeing where I'm at fault. I understand that the nice thing would have been to remake a gift or let her just have it. However, it was one of my best pieces, and I always give my mother art I make. She loves it. She shows it off to everyone. It is something she takes great pride in. She has one from every Christmas, and I never miss a year. She even shows off the crappy lumps I made as a kid. My boyfriend wants to talk tomorrow. I'm not sure if he's going to break up with me or if he wants to yell at me for it. I just need to know what people think. Was I a jerk? Boyfriend seems to think I was. I love this guy very much and really love his mum. She is super sweet and kind and never really gets nice things. I still don't think it's my job to cover for his lack of foresight. Her birthday comes every year on the same day. It's not like it surprised him. I got her a card and a book, which I thought was nice. She thanked me for them later over text, but she seemed really sad about the cat vase. I guess she was hoping I either made her something or my boyfriend actually got her something she really liked. She loves cats and he's never gotten her anything cat themed. It is always some cooking supplies or an apron, which means he sucks up presents. I'm just not sure what to think. Does anyone have any idea what to do in this situation? I'm really curious what this talk is going to involve. Unless it involves an immediate apology and the way he's fucked up and been a shitty person, then I just wouldn't pander to it. Everything that's happening is consequences of his actions. I'm glad you told the mother immediately that the presents must have got mixed up, because it sounds like that gift is a bit of a tradition with you and your mother, and your mother sounds like she takes great pride in it at the same time, and you sound like a wonderful person. And so for him to steal from you because that's what he did and then get mad at you for it is just bullshit. If it was me, I'd be side-eyeing things, but you know, it's your relationship. You know him a lot more than anyone else here, but I certainly wouldn't be apologizing for that. I certainly wouldn't be thinking that you're wrong in any way, shape or form in this. But Princess Awesome Pants says, I don't really have advice to give, but I want you to know that I think your actions were quite reasonable. Your boyfriend should not have taken the gift that you made specifically for your mother. It sucks that his mother was hurt, but I think if you'd let him get away with it, it would set a bad precedent. Good for you for standing up for yourself. If he decides to break up with you over this, it's due to his own flaws and immaturity. He could have asked you to make something for his mother or found something that she'd like, and he didn't. Don't apologize for your actions. If anything, he owes you a massive apology for trying to steal your mother's present and making you look like the bad guy to his mother. Hannah says you did nothing wrong. You made something that you spend a lot of time and love on for your mother, and if he doesn't understand or respect that, then that's on him. While that sucks for his mum, that isn't your problem. You seem like a compassionate people, which is why you feel bad, but I think your boyfriend was expecting to use that in his favor, which isn't okay. Opie responded saying I'm really hurt he would take it, especially because I showed him the item before I wrapped it. He even said my mum would love it. I hoped, and I might seem stupid, that this was a panic moment, like he didn't want to disappoint her so he just took it, but I'm still hurt he is blaming me for this at all. Punch Dance says I think you did everything right. The confidence it took to speak up and in a neutral way is fantastic. If he has a problem, it's because he is short-sighted and selfish. As an aside, I feel so bad for his mum. It'd be hard having such a thoughtless son. Opie says I feel terrible for his mum, and as much as I love him, I don't want to become a person like his mother. He's been fantastic to me up until now. I wonder if this isn't just a sign he is faking it. I mean, how can you not get your mother something? Even just a little book or trinket. I just wonder how hard it is to find something they would like. Even asking her to dinner and paying would be nice. She paid for dinner herself because he claimed he had no money. Ooh dear. The red flags are just popping up, aren't they? They keep popping up. And one more comment from Sleep Fight who says, to be honest, I'd dump him for giving away something that you made your mum without consulting you and blaming you for the fallout it created. He could have asked you to make one for her. You are not the jerk, he is. To which OP responded saying, yeah, I'm really upset thinking about this. He's been really wonderful up until this point. I just hoped it was our ages that made him bad at giving presents. But he treated his mum without any thought. And with the stuff that OP was revealing within the comments section there, I wonder how rosy their relationship really is if she really looks back on it. But OP comes in with an update and says, I want to thank everyone for all the help. A few people advised I should have just let his mum have the gift. This is not something I would be comfortable doing. I don't make art to sell. I make art to give to people who I love very much, so each piece has a lot of love in it. My, now ex-boyfriend showed up around 4 PM and wanted to talk at me. He just told me he was disappointed and that he had taken a lot of sweet talking to make his mother understand what happened. He told her I mixed up the packages, but that I had one for her that I just needed to get. I told him I didn't have anything for her and that I was not going to be helping him out. He could go buy one for her and pass it off as handmade, but I was not covering for him. I told him I felt his behavior was cruel to me, the effort I put into my art and my mum, his mum, just everyone. He told me that he expected better. He would not apologize. He just kept getting angrier and angrier. He ended up grabbing a piece I made earlier this year. I was really proud of it. It was a mermaid on a rock. He said he would give this to her and that I could find a new boyfriend. I told him that if he left with it, I would call the police. We weren't screaming, but we were both really angry. He slammed it back down on my table. He told me that he never wanted to see me again and I should call him when I grew the fuck up. I told him we were over, that he was no longer my boyfriend and I wanted nothing to do with him. I said he could take the clay back if he wanted, but I'd already returned his Xbox to the store. He told me to keep the fucking clay, and he wouldn't have apologized if he knew I wasn't giving him the present. He called me a liar and said that I ruined his holiday, according to the dribble coming out of his mouth. His mum was really hurt and had left town early. He thought that giving her a piece and shifting the blame to me for getting would make it better. I told him to just leave. So now I'm single, with a lot of clay and a lightly cracked mermaid statue. I'm not sure how to feel about this, but Dobby is free. A free elf. Gee whiz. Now, I'm not going to focus on the guy on this too much because, you try to get into the head and all you can think is, what a bloody Burke. The OP in this story that, they weren't taking no shit all the way through this. They saw their present being opened, which he handed over to her. And she was like, nah, presents must have got mixed up. Took it back straight away. He tried strong arming her during the update and getting her to make his mum something or give her one of her previous pieces. And she was like, nah, I'm not bailing you out of this shit. This is on you. Absolutely. What I'd really like to know though is what the mum was thinking in this and what she would be thinking after the breakup and what he's telling her. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit. It doesn't have an update as yet, from Loud Series 9494, and says, Am I the Arsehole for avoiding daughter-in-law, which resulted in the rest of the family excluding her, and when confronted, not fixing it? I will be clear as possible, also on my phone. This started about 3 years ago when my son married. My daughter-in-law, Jenny, is very opinionated and doesn't handle any slight well. She claims it is due to growing up and having to be very loud in order to have someone pay attention to her. She was in a family of all boys, and during any issue, she goes to 100%. This is a problem. Anytime she has a small issue, she will escalate it very quickly. This has caused about half of her outings to be ruined. It's like she thinks everyone is out to get her, and any small slight will set her off. She can never just keep her mouth shut. Everything needs a reaction from her. A few examples. A mix-up at Starbucks for a drink. A waiter seemed impatient. Someone pushing past her. These situations at most need a polite request to fix, like her drink, or just ignore. Instead, she is just a dick. It is an awful feeling to leave, and no, I shouldn't step back on that place for at least 6 months. I tried to talk to her about the issue and it didn't go well. I tried to talk to my son and nothing on that front. So I stopped doing the small family events that she is invited to. I still go to the big ones like holidays. My life has been better for it. People noticed, and when I asked, I told them the truth. Over time, people stopped inviting her or stopped going to events. She invited people to go to the city of the 4th of July. Everyone turned her down. She asked around and it came back to me. I got a call from my son telling me to fix this, and I'm a huge bully and caused this. That his wife has been upset since and got in a few arguments with family members. I told him no. I told him a while ago that her behavior was horrible. That isn't my problem. He called me some lovely names and I am doubting myself. And we're starting the comments with Bulbasaur Ranch, who says not the arsehole. You took yourself out of uncomfortable situations. It's not your fault that others follow by example, because they share similar sentiments about her behavior. Her excuse for her behavior is not unreasonable, nor should it be accepted. She doesn't want to work on being a better person. You can't force her to improve her behavior. Got into arguments with family members and then says, sounds about right. Lol, she has no self-awareness, and maybe some time to reflect will do her some good. She's done this to herself. Next commenter says not the arsehole. I have a friend who behaves this way and I refuse to go out to eat or shopping with her. She embarrasses me with her drama and she's rude to random servers or other customers. No one likes to spend time with someone who behaves that way. Does your son not realize that? I doubt you are the reason for others not accepting an invitation from her. They've drawn the same conclusion you have. She's embarrassing to be with. Someone asked for another example from OP and OP says the Starbucks situation. Instead of going up and saying, this is the wrong order, she went up and basically called the other person an idiot for giving the wrong drink, raised her voice, and when she got the right drink made a huge point to say it's not hard to do your job. The waiter won. It was rush hour and the waiter was trying to hurry us along to order. She loudly said to the waiter that he is unprofessional and to chill out, that she won't get a tip now. She seriously didn't need to say anything. I pushed past one. A girl was just trying to get out the store and she pushed past us. She called her a rude bitch and tried to demand an apology. The girl wasn't having it and soon left and had to stop her from following her. This happens often. Gee whiz. Now, what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. And don't forget, at the very end of the video, there'll be a couple of playlists there that you can click on and will automatically scroll through all the videos for you. So whatever you're up to, and don't forget to let me know on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it these days. Love to see your pictures of what you're up to whilst listening. Thank you so much. It's at Mark Narrations, by the way. And I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.